Hey, what is up, guys? It's Spicy Sushi. So, before the Sentinel Kalandra League starts tomorrow, I wanted to do a quick video going over how you might create a triple T1 bow. Triple T0 bow, because we're going to do a triple Essence bow. It is worse than triple T1, but it's so close, and most people went for that in Sentinel League. And we're just going to do a quick video. Okay, it might not be quick. This might actually take a while. It's been a while since I've done recombinating, so I'm going to have to refresh a little bit. I don't remember how long this stuff took. I knew it could be very tilting, so it might take a little bit, but I will go through the motions with you and show you how recombinating was done. Recombinating was a very fun, very involved, very intricate process, but it was an absolute blast, and I can't wait to jump back into it tomorrow, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I plan on doing a lot of rod crafting, making a lot of Ellie bows, because everyone's going to be playing Lightning Arrow. I feel like Lightning Arrow, Tornado Shot, Lightning Strike, Venom Gyre, because these like triple elemental bows were so easy to craft that league. I say so easy. One was not incredibly easy. It could take a long time because Sentinel can be very tilting. We will go over how it's like, the process. I'll actually do a demo for you. I could not buy, okay, do not judge me for the garbage bases. I could not find enough people selling spine bows in standard. So I'm going to be throwing away some money. How much are these even? I can't even check. I can't. I don't have my thing set to standard. I'm probably throwing away a lot of money, but I'm going to go through the process with you. But anyway, before I jump into it, I want to show you this document, the Recombinator Calculator. This was the most important document to have access to back in Sentinel League because it saved you a lot of trouble because it did all the math for you if you were ever doing any, more higher investment recombinating. If you were doing like more SSF style, like simple recombinating, you didn't have to use the sheet. Like if you were just slamming items together with ROG, which is probably what I'm going to be doing day one, I'm not going to really use the calculator much. But for crafts like this, if we want to make a really good bow, I'm definitely going to use this calculator. But before I get into that, I do want to show you the first way that you might make a triple elemental bow, and that is through just buying a fractured base and transferring the fracture. Because if you did not know, Sentinel League, every fractured base was fair game. So, okay, don't judge me for this fracture. I know it's trash, all right? I know. But pretend it's T1 lightning damage. And I'll be honest, Sentinel League was notorious for being the league where crafters, very sweaty crafters, were live searching like 60 plus items at a time. I never could get up to that. And you may be saying, Sushi, you can't even do that. Oh, yes, you can. Yes, you can. It's called creating 5+ Path of Exile accounts and having like 20 trade search tabs open for each of those Path of Exile accounts to live search 60 plus. People did it. I'm telling you, people actually did that in Sentinel League because they wanted to live search every single fracture, or that every single sellable fracture for every possible base, because they would live search it, they would grab it, and then they would do this. Anyway, the way you would calculate a fracture, if you want to do this, let's say you got a T1 lightning damage on a really bad bow for pretty cheap, all right? This is how we would use the calculator. So we have item number 1, item number 2. We have fractured. Obviously, you don't have to be this descriptive. I'm just doing this to be very clear. Fractured lightning, okay? Fractured lightning. Now, if we wanted fractured lightning to end up on the final item, right now it's a 66.67% chance of ending up on our final item. Now, it has to pick the base that we want. Like currently, it's only a 66.67% that it's even going to be on the final base. But we also have to win the 50-50 that it transfers to the spine bow. So it's a 66%, but a 50-50 to start, right? So 2 and 3, 1 and 2. So you have to keep that in mind, right? But we can actually increase our chances if we have the same modifier. In this case, let's just keep it simple. The same modifier on both items. We now have increased it to an 80% chance. That's just how the math works. All right. This is not counting a mutation though. Mutations you'll find out if you play this league. If you didn't play Sentinel and you play this, you can't just look at this and assume this is how it's always going to be, because Sentinel was notorious for being one of the most tilting crafting leagues ever because of mutations. A mutation is not just like an item adding a Sentinel mod. Like, technically, yes, +1 power charge on rings, +1 endurance, +1 frenzy, those are mutations. But when I say mutations, I'm meaning the random chance for your modifiers to just mutate into another random modifier, to annul a modifier, to exalt a random modifier, which wouldn't hurt us in this case, but like, if our bench crafts mutate, that's fine. So for fractures, it's not that bad, but you'll see when we get to the actual crafting in a minute how annoying it can actually be. But anyway, I'm yapping too much, dude. I'm yapping too much. So anyway, let's just... What we're going to do is... Okay, so I hit fire damage. And what I can actually do here, if I annul a suffix... That is a prefix. Okay. Annul a suffix, I can actually just craft fire damage. It doesn't have to be a bench craft for this situation, because the only thing we care about is the fracture. So even though I put bench here, let's just say mod 1, it's still an 80% chance, because this fire damage, you can't have 2 fire damages on an item, is the way to think about it, right? And ignore this crucible tree. It's just a random base in my stash. I know some people are going to be like, you're yapping so much in this video, Sushi, but this video is meant for people that did not play Sentinel, okay? If you played Sentinel, you already know how to make this bow. So this is just to recap people who didn't play. But the way you need to think about a recombination is that there are a certain amount of orbs of annulment that are thrown out. And yes, these orbs of annulment can delete fractured mods even, okay? And when we do things like craft the same modifier on both prefixes, we are forcing one of these orbs of annulment to hit the fire damage, because there can't be 2, all right? And we're hoping that we don't get an orb of annulment on the lightning damage here. And we're also hoping that the lightning damage transfers to the spine bow. And after all of that, we not only lost the 80% chance... I was going to get into the second point, dude. I thought there's no way I could have lost it. We not only lost... Come on. That's going to be a fun league. I was going to get into the second part, where even if you don't win the 50-50, you can just go again, because it's an 80% chance of saving your fractured mod. Oh, man. Okay, well, anyway. Normally, you have an 80% chance of not losing your fractured modifier, and you can just go again, okay? You can just do this process over and over until you get it moved over. That is why you should think of it as... You should definitely try to see if there's a cheap, like, T1 fractured prefix on a garbage bow base first, before you get into this next part that we go into. Because you could pretty easily move it over to another bow, and then you don't have to do this next thing that we do, because this next thing we do can be very tilting, okay? It can be very tilting. So let's get into it. These are just random bows, by the way. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to essence this once, and we're going to try to get this cold damage by itself, or with just the flat fizz to start. Okay, we have the flat fizz. Now let's try to hit this with a wrath essence. Okay. And it's gone. All right. Wrath. Nice. Okay. We have flat fizz, cold damage, and flat lightning with nothing. Okay, so what we're going to do here, and just so you know, in this situation, we don't want to go for 50-50s, as in, we don't want to be picking a certain base. So you want to only use spine bows, all right? Only spine bows if you're doing like LA. So only craft with spine bows, all right? This is also a really good league for actually farming bases off the ground. Bases actually sell for quite a lot. So we're going to set it up like this. If recombinators are like less than 30 chaos, or less than even 20 chaos for weapon recoms. I think this is pretty fine to do. Sometimes some people will want to only recombinate if it's 2 essence mods and 2 crafted mods here. So let me show you what it looks like, right? We have our Wrath essence, and we have our Hatred essence, and we have Flat Fizz and Flat Fizz. So currently, it's a 44% chance that we win, okay? Now, we're going to have to gamba and hope that we get the bench-crafted Fizz on the final item, or we just get neither. That's why I think it's worth doing, even if you, because the thing is, if you're gonna, if Orb of the Annulments, I think are gonna be pretty expensive this league because they're gonna be in high demand for setting up optimal recombinations. That's why you don't want to burn that many. So I think it's worth it in these situations to not go for the, because you're gonna have to go for, you're gonna have to go burn a lot of Orbs of Annulment to set up highly optimal recombinations is the problem. So we're gonna go for these usually, because most of the time you're just gonna get screwed like this, right? But luckily, we can go again with this base. This is actually a pretty solid base. We have bench-crafted Fizz and Hatred. So let's just grab another base. Let's have, let's just do Wrath. But we got to get, and by the way, yeah, I think I mentioned this already, but prefixes and suffixes are completely separate. So we don't have to worry about prefixes and suffixes at all. I mean, we don't have to worry about our suffixes at all in this step. So we're just only caring about prefixes. We got to go for annuls until Flat Fizz, at least. Yeah, okay, we got it. We got Flat Fizz, bench-crafted Fizz, and this. So it's a 44.17% that we get Wrath and Hatred, and we're hoping that if the Fizz is on the final item, it's just the bench-crafted Fizz. But our Hatred got removed, so we got to go again. So yeah, in this situation, we're just losing the 44% chance, or there could just be a mutation happening. You just never know for sure if it's just like you're just getting, you know, screwed by a mutation. It's just how the league is. All right, we got Cold, Lightning, and assuming recombinators are pretty cheap and Orbs of Annulment are not pretty cheap, like not like 2 chaos or something. If they're like 3 or 4 chaos day 1, sure, have at it. Just be annulling until, you know, you only have the prefix. I'm going to assume that they're in pretty high demand though. So they're going to be like 10 plus chaos. In that case, I'm not going to be burning tons of annuls. I'm going to be recombinating every time in this situation. Nice. Whoa, so we actually mutated. We mutated our Essence Lightning into T1. That is a good mutation. That is, because the thing is, mutations, I forgot to mention the mutation. You can mutate as in rank down. Like our Essence can go to T3 or T2. But in this case, it mutated from T0 to T1. That's pretty sick. And we actually got the bench-crafted Fizz, which I talked about already, right? We can just remove it. So we just remove it right here. So we have a pretty optimal crafting base for our final step. But I got to get into our step 2, which is to create 2 bases before our final step. So now we have to do this again. But instead of Cold Lightning, we need to do either Lightning or Cold with Anger. All right, so let's go ahead and go through this process again. But let's get... But let's do Wrath, Anger. Right? I actually forgot my base already. Yeah, so Anger. All right, all those suffixes are full. Nice, okay. Wed. Okay, so I'll just craft Wed. I'll just craft Wed. All right. That's not what we wanted. I need to move my crafting bench. This is... I don't know why I did this with no movement. I have no movement speed on this character. Sorry for my dog barking. Do Anger. All right. Let's craft Wed. All right, now, so we have the Lightning, we have fire, and we've got the same modifier on each that are going to be fodder for the annuls. Just like the last craft. And in this case, we got unlucky, and it ended up on the final item, which is really unfortunate. So we're going to have to go for a 1 in 3 annul, because, okay, in this situation, so I'll show you the math. In this situation, we'd want to go for a 1 in 3 annul. So we got Wrath, Anger. We got Hatred, Wrath. So normally, if we didn't have that wed, it would be a 35% chance that we finish our bow, okay? But since we have random, we just have that random wed there, it tanks our chances all the way down to 12.5%, which is unfortunate. So we're actually going to go for, we're going to go for a null on wed. And we actually hit it. Okay, that 1 in 3. That's pretty RNG. That's pretty streamer RNG there. Anyway, let's go for our very first 35% chance. Probably not going to hit it first try. Okay, we hit it first try. All right, there it's done. Okay, dude. Essence. Okay, we hit a mutation. We downgraded from T1 to Essence, though. Unfortunate. But anyway, Ashlings are probably... I'm going to assume Ashlings are not going to be for sale. So you're going to probably have to just Veiled Chaos your bow, unless you want to go farm your own Ashling. Yikes. Mana per enemy killed. Either that or multi-mod it. Multi-mod is not that much worse. At all. So it's probably a multi-mod angle. Because it's not that much worse, but you know what? Or just get unethical RNG like me. And hit. So there you go. There would be the bow. Triplet Essence. This assassin bow is 1k eDPS. Rip. Pretty damn low. But anyway, it'd be a spine bow. It'd be a spine bow. That was pretty unethical. I feel like I gotta do a little bit more, because that was too lucky, man. That was too lucky. Even for me. Well, nothing's too lucky for me. Anyway, let's get Wrath Essence. Where's my Regals? Oh, there they are. We got Wrath, Hatred. We're gonna have to null that, yeah. We're gonna have to null that. Okay. We got Wrath, Hatred, and we're gonna have to bench craft. Why do I keep running down there, man? Let's bench craft the same mod on each. Doesn't matter what you bench craft. Max mana, max mana. 44% chance. And we hit. Well, we got the mutation to Essence to T1. Nice. Okay, so 44 hit. No mutations besides an upgrade. Nice. Great RNG. Alright, managed to get a few more bows. Hopefully we get lucky and don't have to burn through all these. Alright, we'll see what happens. Okay, so where were we? We got Wrath and Hatred. Well, Wrath and T1 together. So we need to get Wrath and Anger. Yeah, let's get Wrath and Anger together. So let's get Wrath. Let's do Wrath. Okay, we got Wrath. Let's do Anger. I'll go ahead and craft flat. Again, want to remind you, if annul orbs are super cheap, I would just burn annuls to make sure this is the most optimal recombination, which would be nothing but bench crafted. Like, it would be bench crafted prefixes instead of a no bench craft. But assuming annuls are like 10 plus C, I'm definitely going to be doing this method. But if recombinators are like half a divine plus, you're gonna have to burn a nulls though. That's the problem. If recombinators are extremely expensive, it's gonna be unfortunate, but you're probably just gonna have to do the fractured method. Although it depends on the economy. The economy might be so bad that you can't even really find fractured bases, and you're just gonna have to resort to this because this is not very economy dependent. At least you just need essences and recombinators instead of having to get a fractured base. All right, let's do this. How lucky did we get? We did not get too lucky. Unlucky. Deleted our wrath. Okay. Okay, nice. Let's just craft, because you just burn so few annuls over the long term doing this method. This is going to be good. Because hopefully something like this happens, right? Oh no, we mutated. Okay, I mean, we deserve that, right? We mutated 2 times for an upgrade, so we finally got a downgrade. We're going to go anyway with this, though, because T2 is not that bad. And we have a essence here, so it could pick the essence, right? So currently we have Anger, Wrath. Okay, it's not Wrath, it's T2. But anyway, we got Anger, Wrath, Hatred, Wrath, T1 actually. But so this is a 35% chance. And hopefully it picks... We're hoping it actually picks the essence lightning instead of the T2 lightning. That would be the best. That'd be pretty sick. They're not that different though, so it's not that big of a deal. What'd we get? Hey, we have our bow, but we got T2 lightning, so that's unfortunate. But anyway, and we have to go for the annul. So I said suffixes don't matter. And, typically you never have to worry about suffixes. But unfortunately, we got all the way to the end of the craft, and we ended up with 3 suffixes. Did someone tell me in the comments, is this a mutation? Like, did the mutation add suffixes, or did we actually go through the entire craft? Like, to the very end of the craft, adding a suffix. That is unfortunate. Oh, nice, we win. Okay, just win. Streamer RNG, dude. Streamer RNG. Does not even matter. Dude, where's my Veiled Chaos Orbs? Really? That is wild. Okay. Surely in one of these 10 million remove only tabs, there's a Veiled Chaos. All right, there we go. That's 14. Okay. Definitely. So we're going to Veiled Chaos because I'm going to assume there's no Ashlings. Or, like I said, multi-mod as well. Because the problem is with doing Veiled Chaos is it's not guaranteed to be crit or attack speed. Like right now. I'm pretty sure I heard that Chaos multi is actually a better block than damage per charge. Like some standard players did some data, gathered some data. So I'm going to go ahead and test that with my 1 sample size because I got chaos dot multi there and it tilted me. All right, let's see if they were right. See if they were right. And I got damage. Okay, they're wrong. Okay, this is why multi-modding should have been I should have multi-modded. Dude, every time. Okay, proj speed. All right, never mind. All right, we win. Proj speed. Okay. Please. Please be the unveil. This is going to be 6 divines on this now. 6 divines deep. You know what? We take it. Blood Rage. GG. Okay. Anyway, that is 2 bows made. That is the way you make it if you don't do fractured prefix. If you can get a fractured prefix for relatively cheap on any garbage base and move it over, which is, like I said, not actually that bad because you have an 80% chance of not losing it. So you can just keep moving it back and forth until you get it on the base you want. And then you just craft it like you would normally a bow. If they are just not obtainable or super expensive, then you can do it this way. I'm going to guess if recombinators are actually pretty expensive, I don't think they will be, but they might be. And if annulment orbs are not super cheap, then it might be more cheaper to just buy a fractured base if they're like 1 div. If there's like some fractured prefix on some garbage crude bow or some assassin bow for like 1 div, I would definitely buy. I don't know. We actually made these prefixes for pretty cheap, but I think we got pretty lucky too. We definitely got extremely lucky. I think I would normally spend 2 times as much as I spent here. But it really just depends. Fractured method has much less chance of tilt because you're gonna have to be buying a lot of spine bow bases, keep in mind. So you'll just have to see if there's any even online, because this economy might be very, very small as well. So you do have to keep note that the economy is going to be really, really tiny. So there might just be no fractured bases on trade for like the first couple of days. So everyone might just be doing these methods. But yeah, there's 2 bows made. And there it is. Hope you guys have a good time in the league. I'll be streaming all league, and I'm going to be having a blast with ROG. And just, with regular recombination crafts, going to be going for some pretty cool stuff. So I'll see you then, guys. Thank you.